Hello and welcome to the Watch Kaki channel, where we bring you all the good and honest watch reviews. If this is the first time you're here to my YouTube channel, please subscribe to my channel. Come back here every week. I've got new videos uploaded just for you. For today's video review, we are going to take a look at this very popular Seiko diver, and this is affectionately known as the Seiko Turtle. Why is it called the Turtle? The Turtle is just a nickname. It never appears on any Seiko advertisement or website officially, but the nickname Turtle is given because the cushion case, the shape really resembles the turtle shell, hence the nickname Seiko Turtle. In fact, the reference number of this watch is the SRP773, and it is a very basic model, production model from the SRP Turtle series, and this is an all blue model that comes with a steel bracelet, and I would say this is a very affordable model to come out from the Pro Spec series. The SRP series turtles, I think they were launched in 2016. Now it is actually a reissue or reimagination of the vintage 6309, and this model here has got a host of features or design features that follows the classic vintage models very closely. Now firstly, of course, is the cushion case, the vintage looking kind of cushion case with all the curves, and of course you've got a crown position around the 4 o'clock area, so we've got a very vintage or a classic kind of a Seiko diver looks. So since Seiko launched the SRP series turtles back in 2016, they've since launched many color variations of the series. We've got the Nemo turtle, we've got the Samurai turtle, we've got the Ninja turtle, which is all black with gold accents. We've got the Gilt Turtle, the 775. We've also got Save the Ocean series. So those are slightly more expensive models. The one I'm holding in my hand today is more of a production model. It's like the base model, and this is the 773. But in terms of build quality, I would say there's not much difference. It is still the same bracelet, same case design, same build. And really, I would say this is a very good entry point if you're interested in collecting Seiko divers, because it is not too expensive. In fact, it's pretty affordable, and I would say the build quality is pretty good for the money you're paying. So let's just run through some specs very quickly. Now this watch, many people are very familiar with it. It's got a case diameter of 44.5 millimeters, and case thickness is 13.4. It's got 22 millimeter lug width, which is pretty standard for many Seiko divers, and again the lug length, lug to lug, is pretty short for a big size diver. It's only 47.5 millimeters, and this makes the watch very wearable. So just some more information that you cannot find anywhere else on the internet, not even on Seiko's official website. The bezel diameter at the base here is about 42 millimeters, then it tapers upwards at the insert, and that's about 39.5 millimeters. And lastly, crystal size is about 32 millimeters. I do note that this is a pretty heavy watch. I've removed 5 links already to fit my wrist, and it still weighs at about 172 grams. That is together with the steel bracelet, so I would say this is quite a hefty watch. And just like many of the basic entry-level Seiko divers, this one is powered by the 4R series. The movement here is a 4R36, which is a day-date movement. It hacks, it's automatic, it hand winds, and I would say it's very popular amongst all these entry-level watches. And just to give you an idea of how affordable this diver is, it's a full stainless steel model with steel bracelet, solid end links and whatnot. This one typically goes for about under Singapore dollars 350. So with discount coupon, sometimes you can get it for as low as just under $300, and I think it is a superb deal for a watch that is of this quality and of this big following. It's a great buy. So let's zoom in a little bit and take a look at the case design and build quality. Now, of course, the first thing you'll notice about the Seiko Turtle design is the turtle shell, and in this case we're talking about the cushion case here with all the curves. There are no sharp edges or shrouds or angular designs. It's all curves, very organic design to it, and it's a good mix of brushed and polished surfaces. So over here, the top of the case or the flanges is all brushed, and over here at the case side it is polished. Now I don't know if this is called a mid case. It doesn't feel like it. It slopes downwards and inwards, and it goes to the case back. Of course, you've got the Tsunami logo as usual, and over here, the case back here, I'd like to bring to your attention that this part here is actually scalloped. Alright, it's not flat, it's not dead flat. Alright, it's scalloped, and the design feels really elegant. It's pretty nice. And the overall design and build of the case is highlighted by this grenade-like texture at the bezel. Alright, pretty unique. I mean, we've got coinage, knurlings on the samurai. Over here we've got something that looks like a texture of a grenade, so it's pretty cool. And the bezel is unobstructed, there are no shrouds or anything like that. And this is a 120 click bezel. It's very easily operated, but I would say there's a little bit of a backlash or backplay. It doesn't feel very solid. Even if it's clicked in place, you will still notice a little bit of shaking. Alright, but it's not a big deal because at this price point, you know, I don't think you can expect something very premium. And one more thing worth mentioning is the design of the crown guard. In this case, I would say it's not a full crown guard, but the crown here is somewhat recessed. It's a screw down crown, of course. It's somewhat recessed. I would say it's partially protected, and the crown guard here really flows nicely with the flange here. So it's not an obvious cutout or a pop out or anything like that, but the crown just flows really nicely and blends into the case. Fantastic case design from the guys at Seiko. And despite not having any bevels or chamfers anywhere on the case, I still think that the case design is pretty nice. It's really elegant because of the curves here, and it gives the watch more or less sort of a pastel shape. It's really cool, and I like the design. It's very organic, and later on in the reshot you will see how well and comfortable this watch wears. And let's move on and talk a little bit on the dial design. So the 773 is a very basic model from the SRP Turtle series, and over here we're looking at a watch that has a blue dial and blue bezel. It's like a plain Jane kind of watch design, and this one has got a dark blue dial, and it is plain. It is a flat kind of dark blue. There's no texture to it or any sunburst going on. And in all honesty, I wish that it actually matches the bezel, because you can see that the bezel is done in a lighter shade of blue. And the markers of this watch, they're all painted on. The hour markers, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, they're all very thickly coated with, I would say, is Seiko Lumi Bright, so almost has a 3D effect to it. Makes you think that it is applied, but it's actually painted on Loom. And I really think that special mention must be given to the 12 o'clock marker, because it looks like a hilted sword. Very unique and special and cool design, so I'll rate this way up there along with the classics like the Omega Speedmaster or even the Seiko Sumo. These watches have very special 12 o'clock markers, and I would say the Seiko Turtle is right up there. And in terms of words and dial printings, I would say it's quite minimal. It's of course got the Seiko logo around the 12 o'clock mark, and we've got a Pro Specs logo, the one that looks like an X, but it is actually a combination of the letters P and S, professional specifications. A lot of fans, they don't like this logo. I actually think it's pretty cool. I like it because it makes everything at the 6 o'clock area looks like a triangle. It's very nice. You've got the tip, and then it gets broader, and I would say it's very uniform, very nice. And the handset found in the Seiko Turtle, I would say this is classic Seiko handset design. You've got a mixture of a syringe and arrow design going on, and this is just classic Seiko look. I especially like the seconds hand on the Seiko Turtle because it's very long. The tip actually goes all the way to the end of the hour markers, and you've got a pretty long counterbalance with the Loom right at the end of the counterbalance, so it's a pretty long seconds hand, and I like the design very much. So I gotta say, I'm not a big fan of the day date design because I think it disrupts the harmony of the dial. So what Seiko could have done is to perhaps at least use a black day date wheel, and that will disrupt the design less. So I've just charged up the Loom under my studio lights. Let's switch off the lights and take a look at how bright the Seiko Lumi Bright Loom is. And of course, you can never go wrong with Seiko Lumi Bright. Take a look at how bright this loom is. You've got really nice markers, hands, and also the central seconds hand with the counterbalance all loomed up. Really nice, really bright. I just love Seiko Loom, they are the brightest. And here's the reshot of the watch in natural light. You can see that the dial is very dark, almost like dark blue, and the bracelet is just so comfortable. I get a very good adjustment out of it by removing 5 links. Fits really well, and there is no lug gap at all on this watch. Just very comfortable. Seiko Turtle is just fantastic. Since the 773 comes standard on a stainless steel bracelet, I thought I'll just spend some time to tell you a bit more about the bracelet. Now, despite what many owners say about the Seiko bracelets, I would say it's very good quality, because even though it's got a stamped clasp, the links are still solid, the end links are solid, and it actually wears, it fits very well and it wears very comfortably. So I have no complaints about this bracelet. I'm normally not a bracelet person. I normally remove the bracelet on a new watch and put on a rubber strap, but these days I've learned to appreciate the good fit of this Seiko bracelet. So I think the bracelet is going to be on this watch. So it's a 22mm width at the lux, and it tapers down to about 20mm here nearer the clasp. Again, most owners would prefer a more dramatic taper, but it's fine for me. I think it matches the watch very well. What I like most is the finish applied. So you see here the center link, the sides, they are brushed, but they've got this small thin sliver of polished surface here. Looks really good, okay? But this is actually a fake 3-link. Alright, so from the outside looks like a 3-link, but on the inside you will learn that this is actually a 1 piece or a 1 link. So this looks so good, looks like a real 3-link, but here it is actually a fake. It is a 1-link bracelet. No biggie, no problems. The watch is still very comfortable. I managed to get a very good fit on my wrist, and the clasp area also has a diverse extension here. So I would say the bracelet is pretty good, alright, on an entry-level watch, but I'm not going to use the diverse extension for sure, but it's nice to know that it has one. So to sum things up, I would really say the Seiko Turtle, the SRP series turtles, I think they are just a future classic. This is an excellent watch. It is really well built. It's got a really good fit because of the curves and how it hugs your wrist. Makes it very comfortable to wear, very manageable. You've got it on a steel bracelet. It weighs over 170 grams, 180 grams, but no big deal because of the case design. Makes the watch very comfortable. It is a classic design. It's got all the elements of classic Seiko: cushion case, the handsets, arrows, syringe, round markers, and all that. So lots of cool elements going on. The hilted sword at 12 o'clock. The bezel is easily operated at all angles, all positions, and most importantly, the entire SRP series, it is very affordable. It is not too expensive. Typically goes for about $350 Singapore dollars, and I would say this is a very good price to pay for an ISO rated diver. And of course, for watches in this price point, this price category, you're bound to find some flaws here and there. And true to all Seiko divers in the entry level category, you will find 1 or 2 misaligned markers or chapter rings. And take a look here at the 6 o'clock marker area. This marker here is badly misaligned. So I'm not too sure if it's a chapter ring or the marker itself, because the other markers, they seem okay, they look okay. The sword is okay, loom pip is okay, but take a look at the 6 o'clock marker. It is way off. So you have to put up with such things if you're looking at Seiko entry-level watches. So there you have it, the Seiko Turtle SRP series. On my desk here is the SRP773. This series, they are really good value for money watches. If you're thinking of starting a diver watch collection, a Seiko diver watch collection, or a budget diver watch collection, I think you won't be disappointed with a purchase like this. Typically goes for about under 400 Singapore dollars. In fact, I got this one for just under 300 Singapore dollars. Very good buy. It's got stainless steel bracelet and full steel construction. So if you like this watch, if you like my watch channel, if you like George, please click the subscribe button, like my channel. I'll see you next week. Bye bye. Alright, because this is a blue turtle, so I think I'm just going to call this Leonardo. Leonardo is the blue ninja turtle, so alright, I know George doesn't like it. He likes green watches. Too bad.